Toriano Sanzoni, the Wolfkeeper, owner of Wolfkeeper University. We've been in business for 20 plus years. Welcome to the Wolfkeeper, a show that's just about everything that you can maybe think about, everything that you can feel that's inside of your heart. What I need for you to do right now is spend the next hour relaxing. Just stop your day before you go into 12 o'clock. And I just want y'all to close your minds, open your hearts, and relax and go on this journey with me. It's a beautiful place that you're about to go, because I want to make you feel, I want to just open you up and think about some things you never really thought about. Right now, the Wolfkeeper. Come on. Good morning, y'all. Come on. It's the Wolfkeeper show. Get ready. Come on, let's go. Yeah. Woo. Yeah. It's the Wolfkeeper show. Your boy Toriano Sanzoni. Yeah. Chanelly Nell. My boy Tyrone Scott somewhere rocking the Doogie Dogs. Denzel's in his house. Shacky Shack. And for all the people out there that love us, we love you back. Thank you all. Get ready for an amazing show with the Wolfkeeper. Get ready. Here we go. Everybody out there, we love you back. I normally start the show with a big old wolf howl, but now I gotta go with a meow, 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 meow. Or a lion roar, whatever you want to call it, but whatever you call it, you better call it Cattober. It's the cat takeover. And today, boom, sitting in for the magnificent Chanelly Nell, who's out there doing her thing. I have the Trap Kings in the house. How you feeling, brother?
Yo, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Hey, I got my kitty. We good over here. We good over here.
Man, I appreciate you co-hosting, brother.
Man, I'm trying to do my thing. You know, it's an honor to come out and chill and chat with you. So
I know I'm interrupting you from your day drinking in Atlanta, but I hope and pray that I can slow your drinking down just a little bit by making you reflect and meditate today before you go just get annihilated. And today I have the beautiful, the amazing Dawn White in the house. Yes.
Hey, everybody.
NYC.
That's right.
How you feel, Dawn?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
I'm feeling amazing. You have a spectacular resume. You and I have talked.
Yes.
And I'm so excited to see you in New York out there.
I'm very excited to be here with both of you. It's very exciting. Thank you for having me.
Award-winning writer and photographer behind the blog Lola the Rescue Cat, author Dawn White. Writing a book is no joke. I mean, because everyone says they want to do it. I mean, you really don't know how entailed it is, and it's the ultimate bearing your soul. And you hope that there's no typos or just flat out like something that shows up like, you know. I wrote a book and I was like, public education, don't fail me now. Be with me. At least if there's a typo, don't let it be something that's not a typo, but clearly you didn't understand the grammar, like there and there or there. So just something.
Yeah, it can be a little nerve-wracking, that's for sure.
You're praying, but you wrote a book on Lola, and you also, I love that Jackson Galaxy project too. We have to talk about, but
yes,
more importantly, Dawn, you got inducted to the Cattober because you're someone that the world should know regarding cats and love for cats. People ask me why cats. Cats are very mystical. They're like second-class citizens or third-class citizens in America. There's more cats than dogs, but they don't get the same respect. You can learn a lot from a cat. It takes a different kind of patience. It takes a lot of patience to raise a dog, but to hold them the kind of level of patience to raise a cat, to train a cat, to give medical care to a cat, all the different things. So I feel like this month is an opportunity to get people that are dog owners to really step up their game, because I want to say it's actually easier to raise a dog than it is a cat.
Yo, I'm just to butt in. I'm trying to train this cat right now to stop chewing on my cord.
I noticed that.
It's not easy.
I was going to say
it's not easy.
Difficulties over there.
Like, she is determined. This is Alanis Morissette, and she is determined to bite this cord right now, and I'm trying to stop her. I'm trying to train her right now. Like, as you say that, I'm trying to.
Because cats get naughty. A cat can get naughty and do things that people just think they're laid back, chilling, relaxing. Dawn, tell us before we ask you a whole bunch of fun, great questions. How did you give us your background? How did you get involved with cats in New York and writing books and Lola?
All of this really happened by accident. My family always had cats growing up. When I was growing up, we always had cats. My entire childhood into my 30s, we always had a cat in the house, or a few, more than one.
Okay.
But for many years as an adult, I didn't have any cats, either because of life circumstances or because I lived somewhere where cats weren't allowed, where I wasn't allowed to have pets. And then one day, just accidentally in 2010, I went to Petco with my family because my niece needed to buy some supplies for her puppy, and there was an adoption event there. So I just went over. I just wanted to see the cats. I just wanted to see the animals that were there. And I saw this beautiful black and white cat sitting in a cage.
Aww.
And I immediately fell in love with her. And that was Lexi. And I immediately fell in love with her. And I hadn't had a cat in well over 10 years, maybe 15 years.
Oh, wow.
And it was just love at first sight. And 1 week later, I went back and I brought her home. So 1 week later, she came home with me.
I love that.
And she had some trauma before going into the shelter. So there was, a big adjustment period for her. And it just took patience. But
thank you.
I realized she was lonely. She was lonely. Yeah, she was lonely during the day. So she needed a friend. So one night I was just looking on Facebook, just going through, one page leads to another on Facebook. And I saw this picture of this sick little cat that was rescued from the city shelter. And I was intrigued by the picture, and I read more about her story.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I I was just drawn to her. I was just really drawn to her picture and her story. So I said, I want to meet this cat. And she was in a hospital, a vet in Manhattan. So I made arrangements to go and meet her. And in like 2 minutes, I said, okay, I'm going to adopt her and take her home. And that was Lola. So Lola came home, and our journey into the cat world actually started even before I brought Lola home, because a lot of people wanted to continue to follow her rescue story because it was pretty unique. And they were vested in her story and her recovery. So I started a Facebook page for her even before I brought her home. So our journey started there, and it just took off. It really just skyrocketed since 2011. That was January 2011. And it just skyrocketed, and here I am today with you guys.
Which that's really super amazing for people that are listening that just signing in. I'm talking to the fabulous Dawn White out in NYC and co-hosting Trap King Sterling down in Atlanta. And that an animal, this small little animal, a cat, had you take time and energy out of your life, you know, to rescue it. One, I think rescuing anything is like more than the notion. People just think, oh, I'm going to rescue something until you're like, oh, wow, you have to buy it something. Call food. A litter box, litter, brush, vet bills. I mean, it's like owning any kind of animal is not cheap.
No, it's not. It's a commitment.
And then there's levels to it, obviously.
And cat people are a special breed. Like, they really choose us. Like, cats, you can feed a cat, and it'll, like this one here, a special breed. You can literally feed a cat, and they'll be like, all right, what have you done for me lately, though? Like, that's cool. You gave me some food. Give me some more. Like, cats feel like they are in charge of us more so. They choose us.
That's for sure. Yes.
And so, what got you? I mean, that's some commitment to really want to start a blog. I mean, you created an entire entity around your cat. I mean, so
I did.
I love this saying. I follow my heart. My heart said, "Make October Cattober." I'm so glad I did it because Sterling and I instant bromance. Boom, here he is.
Like,
right here we are now, Don. We talked briefly. You know, I was like, man, I can't wait till we meet each other. You know, your friend. I mean, you're friends with Dana. You're friends with Mary. I mean, here 5 people that are all connected through cats, just like that have never actually met. We bonded, but what I want to share with people today on this Sunday is like, what got you? What was your motivation to really take time and energy? I mean, cause that's a commitment. Like, just because you didn't just get a cat, turn Lola into like an icon. You put time and energy and you're here because you were more than just a pet owner, more than just a cat owner. What was going on in your world right then, that moment in time?
It was a process. You know, like I said, I started the Facebook page because people asked me to. They wanted to follow her journey and her recovery because she was very, very sick. So basically I started the Facebook page just to kind of keep people updated, and I didn't really think it was going to last that long. But our following just grew and grew and grew. And I would just post updates every day about her and Lexi, and I would write in their voice. It was really about them and from them. So it was all in their voice. And they, you know, I created, you know, 2 separate voices for them. And people loved it. And it just kept growing. And I'm sorry, I became a part of this fabulous, tight-knit cat community on Facebook. And I met so many people from all over the world because they loved my cats and I loved their cats. And it just kept going. And then I started raising money for people in need who couldn't feed their pets or couldn't afford vet bills. I raised money for shelters through auctions. You know, I raised tens of thousands of dollars for people in need and rescues in need through the Facebook page. And just kept growing. Our following just kept growing. And one day I just decided I should really write a book about Lola's story, because what I wanted to do is to bring attention to Lola's story. You know, Lola luckily recovered. She was ill. She had a very bad respiratory infection upon other things, and she was really ill, but she recovered. But there's so many other cats out there who were in worse shape than she is, and she was. And I wanted to bring attention to that because I wanted to prevent cats from having to go through that. Both of my cats were dumped. They were both abandoned. They were dumped. I wanted to avoid cats being dumped and being abandoned, and from getting sick and going through trauma and being ill and injured. So I figured if I wrote Lola's story, I could get that story out there and just bring attention to what happens to animals when they're neglected and they're dumped.
Wow. I can understand. I can relate to your story too, Don, because it was kind of the same way with me. And I know you said you worked with Jackson. It was kind of the same way with me. Like, the lifestyle kind of chose me. I was working for a county shelter, and I would record me returning cats, and then Jackson kind of found me. And when I talked to him, I went to a couple of his shows. He was like, "Yo, you the black version of me," and I was like, "Wow, I guess I am." But it was just like with Lola. With me, it was the same thing. Like, you develop a platform all of a sudden, and then it's like, hey, let's use the platform for good, to save some more cats, to save more cats like Lola, to be able to tell Lola's story. So that's like amazing. That's real dope.
Yeah. And
appreciate
when I published, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. And when I published the book, my goal, I set a goal for myself, and I said, if I can save one animal's life through this book, then my goal was met. I did some good. And somebody posted on my Facebook page that Lola's book not only inspired her to go to the shelter and adopt a cat, but the cat she adopted, she named Lola.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And I do have somebody else who visits my Facebook page, and periodically she'll post on there. She's in rescue. And as you know, it's, draining. It's emotionally and physically draining. So when she feels like giving up, she tells me when she feels like giving up, she reads Lola's story again, and it gives her renewed energy and faith to go back out there and do what she was doing.
Wow. I love that, because once again, and I knew this, but just 3 episodes in, talking to you, Sterling, which started the month off, and just the guests after that, talking to Don. Actually, I talked to Don first. No, actually, Mary Tan just was breaking it down for me first, just about
Mary,
how cats, it's real easy to say, like, you take your story, and if it's a pit bull, if it's a French bulldog, like right now there's French bulldogs in Chicago that were abandoned at the airport. There's like 10 of them. They are in the news every day. So and I'm sure they're going to get adopted for like $3,000-$4,000 each, and then a person's going to create a Facebook page, and they're going to get tons of French bulldog gifts and toys, and each one of these dogs probably going to live better than some humans, right? But then there's so many cats out there, you don't typically think about someone taking the time and energy to dedicate to one cat. Because why dedicate that much time and energy to one cat? Because there's tons of cats out there. So I think that says a lot, and that's truly make both of you ambassadors of humanity, which we really need right now more in the world. Let me ask you guys this, because you guys, this is the 3rd time Mr. Jackson has come up. Jackson, who is an icon, probably the most popular person in the pet industry. And
dude is like the Jay-Z of cats, man.
He's the Jay-Z.
He's like the Jay-Z of cats, man.
Yes. Yeah.
And, because I worked with Cesar Millan, and you don't really get how freaking crazy dope Cesar is until you meet him first, face to face. Okay, when you meet him, you're like, okay, I get it. He taught me a lot about dogs. Is Jackson dope like that with with cats? Like how is his perception of cats?
That was my. I'm gonna be honest. That was my rite to passage in my mind. Like when I went to cat camp, and I finally met Jackson face to face, and we talked on the phone. But when we met face to face and we talked, and he was just, he's a cool dude. Like I mean, he's about pushing the mission forward, like in every way. He's a cat behaviorist. I'm a TNR rescue guy. But I mean, at some point, if you get into this game, you're probably gonna run into Jackson. If you're serious about it, you're probably gonna run into Jackson. He's probably gonna push it and make sure what you're doing is positive. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Don probably had a different situation, but I'm sure it's similar in the fact that he's gonna push the mission forward.
Yeah, it's interesting because Jackson through the TNR world. And I know him through the writing world and sort of the shelter world, because I got involved with the Jackson Galaxy Project, again, all by accident. Everything, just falls into my life and place. Everything happens for a reason at the perfect time for you. So I had a friend who was already writing for the Jackson Galaxy Project, and I told her I was interested. So she got in touch with the person who runs the back end for Jackson on that. And they said, yeah, hey, write for us. We like what you do. So I write for the Jackson Galaxy Project for the Cat Positive program, which, so he takes the behaviorism and puts it into the shelter and teaches the shelter staff how to bring around previously unadoptable cats to make them adoptable. So what I do is which it's on pause right now, obviously, because of COVID, unfortunately. But we're all assigned a certain amount of shelters, and we form relationship with those shelters, and we write their updates throughout the program on the progress of the cats that they make through using Jackson's behavioral techniques. And it's amazing. It's amazing to see the progress that the staff make with the cats to change them around, change their personality, and really make them a different cat, and they're adopted into homes and they're happy. Wow. And what I've met Jackson several times, and he's always so appreciative of the volunteers that volunteer for him and the work that we do, and no matter in what aspect that we volunteer for him. And he's just an all-around really great guy.
Where's he?
I'm sorry?
Where's he based at?
He's out of California right now. He's
California.
Right now. Yeah.
California. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's once again, I want people to take away from this the complexities of cats, because I'm as you all are talking, I'm just thinking about people know that they're dog behaviors. You know what I mean? Which are different from dog obedience trainers. For sure that we know that dogs can cause damage to your property. We know that dogs get neglected, but we don't think about, oh wow, I'm going to call up a cat behaviorist. It's not like tons of there's dog trainers now. There's like a plethora. Everyone's a dog trainer now. But what I'm going to ask the same question that I asked. I've been asking guests since we're 4 days into Cattober. Don, you have the magic wand. What would you like to see, if there was a way to change the trajectory of people in America? Because there's 90 million cats. That's a lot of cats. And that's registered cats. So we don't even, that's not even including the person with 10 cats that are feeding in the back of the yard that, like they've decided. What is that thing right there?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's Samantha's groundhog.
That's Griffin the groundhog. I was talking to Don earlier about Griffin.
Oh, he's so cute.
I was talking to Don earlier before we was talking about the groundhog earlier before the show. I had to show her, but that dude was literally coming out of the litter box. That groundhog is litter box trained. Like, I can't make this up.
Oh, man.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to show that. Like that's Griffin the groundhog.
Hey, I thought that's why I love what I'm already discovering with cat people, because I'm like, I'm looking at my Frenchie over there snoring. And like that's like I've been around dogs for 20 years professionally, and I've had dogs my whole life. But like I'm cool. I've never thought about like I'm going to do dogs and a groundhog. Of course, you're over there with you got a cat and a groundhog over there, just chilling in your.
I can't shout out Samantha Martin enough because seriously, like you would be surprised. She will train. She will rescue and train everything. Cats.
Hey, Don,
groundhogs.
we're giving Sterling crap on last week about his dating life has been suffering because he can't get women to accept him in his whole cat world. But
that's impossible. That's not possible.
But he didn't include that a groundhog is part of the package. that might freak somebody out.
It's tough, man.
I got a couple cats and a groundhog, so you got to take the whole family if you're coming in.
I know I know what my cat ladies go through now. I understand it because as a cat man, it's like, man, dating is almost impossible. It's like, as soon as they see the cats, and then like I say, if they see me babysitting Griffin, they're like, "Is that Sonic the Hedgehog? What is that?"
Oh, there's lots of women who would love that. Trust me.
Hey, Don, you might have to write a book for Sterling, like dating with cats and hedgehogs.
That's a good book idea.
It'll be called "Don't Judge Me."
Don't judge me.
I'm writing that down.
Right.
That just made my day. I cannot believe you just for real bust out a groundhog. Just like
I didn't even want to interrupt. He came in here to use a litter box. I was like, I gotta put him on camera.
I love it.
That's what I love about cats too, because cats are just like out of nowhere. They come in there, they take the poop, they hide it, and they just keep on the.
And they leave. They walk away.
Yeah.
What's up, deuces? Like you just should have. Is that hitch? Are they dangerous? Do they bite? I'm just like that. That was like a big animal creature that I don't even want to touch that.
The groundhog, he's actually. I mean, he got teeth. He got serious teeth. He could do some damage. But like again, Samantha trained him. He's a part of her show, and he's like the friendliest groundhog I've ever seen. Because I actually made a mistake and trapped a groundhog before. Like I catch cats in my traps. I actually trapped a groundhog by mistake before, and he was not nice. Man, Griffin is real nice compared to the actual groundhog. I wouldn't recommend people going up and just grabbing groundhogs and bringing them in a house. That's not
right. Yeah,
you know what? Rescued. And it's a different scenario.
I don't need anyone calling me up saying, "Hey, I saw a groundhog on your show, and now we have one."
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a special case.
I'm curling down in Atlanta. If you decide to get a groundhog, you blame him. If your kid is watching this, but hey, Don, before Sterling busts out a groundhog,
little distraction.
The question I wanted to ask you was, before we end the show, what is something that people? What's a deliverable that people could do and change their mindset? Because there's 90 million plus cats out there registered. So that's no telling how many. I think because there's 16 million registered dogs. I think there's probably about 80, 90 total because there's 16 million registered. I know a ton of people who don't have registered dogs. So if there's 90 million registered cats, no telling. There could be actually 100 million. But what's something that people that are listening can change their mindset, your trajectory as far as like cats?
Yeah, I think there's so many things people can do. I think one is just, educate themselves. I think a lot of, people who don't like cats are misinformed. And I think blogs like mine and a lot of other cat blogs can really educate people on the joy that a cat can bring into your life, how they can enhance your life. And, they're not, evil creatures. If you go back into, mythology and things like that, they're not evil creatures that are going to suck the breath out of your baby when they're sleeping.
Thank you. Those
you know, those myths and those misconceptions. It really starts with education, and that's one of the things I like to do on my blog is educate people about cats as well. Go visit a shelter. Go visit a shelter. You know, start to get to know them. Really see what happens when cats don't have a home, you know, and how appreciative they are really of the love and the attention and the kindness that you show to them. You know, start there.
If a person wants to find you, or if they want to get involved with you in New York, what's the best way for them to find and seek you?
They can find me on Facebook at Lola the Rescued Cat, or via my blog, lolatherescuedcat.com. They can reach out to me either on Facebook or the contact form through my blog. You know, people do contact me when they have issues with cats that they need help with, and I refer them to rescues in the area.
Cool. So we will reshare that on our Facebook.
Thank you.
When I'm coming out there.
I can't wait.
That's going to be November 21st. I'll be out there, and I would love for you to come to my seminar, and then we're going to be doing a live podcast from there too. So
awesome.
That'd be super dope, because there's so many things I've learned already from both of you all about cat ownership, and then just the need to show a compassion. And the thing too, when you were talking, I kind of answered the question for myself, what people can do, because there's tons of people that are afraid of dogs out there, and they've done stats to show how being afraid of a dog can affect your life, because especially now in this day and age, you're going to bump into somebody with a dog. It's almost impossible to not walk down the street. So if you're afraid of dogs, it's going to affect your life. But 90+ million cats in America, you're going to come across a cat, whether you like it or not. And they're, like you said, there are people that truly believe they're going to steal your breath. They're bad luck. You know, they'll scratch your eyes out. They're these nasty little things that affect you more than you realize. So I think that's awesome what you said, that just just watch a YouTube video on it. Make that
yeah.
Or they can contact either one of you, right? If the person really has questions.
Oh, yeah. And not just me either. Like, it's women like Don that trained me that made this possible. I had a dude asked me about TNR, and he thought I invented it, and I had to let him know, like, yo, it's women like Don that made this possible, that why I'm doing what I'm doing. So even if you don't look up me, even if you don't look up Don, look up your local county shelter, and support rescue, support TNR, support cat advocacy as a whole, because they as dope as the dogs too. Like, you know, show them some love. Like you doing with Cattober.
I have a whole series planned for my blog next year based all around TNR and community cats. So that's going to be the focus next year. It was going to be this year, but COVID kind of put me behind on that because I couldn't go out. So that's for next year. It's all TNR projects and community cats and colony care. That's my focus next year.
Thank you. That's amazing.
I'd love to interview you. I'd love to interview you, Sterling, for next year, you know, for the blog, get your input.
I'm in. Just
Thank
say
you.
the word. I'm in.
Hey, I want to thank Don so much for coming out, spending some beautiful time with us out there in New York. See you soon. See you next month, Don.
Thank you.
Trap King, thank you. Are you back with me tomorrow?
Oh, for sure. You know,
all month. We got the Trap
here, man.
All month. Thank you all. I'm Toriano Stanzoni, the Wolfkeeper. Go enjoy your beautiful Sunday fun day. Don, you owe me a drink.
I owe you a big one.
I'm just gonna say, hey, send this over to Don out in New York.
You got it. Anything.
Peace and love, you all.
Thank you all. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.